Hi, how are you?
Hey, Ayleen, how are you? Good morning. How are you? How are things for you?
I'm good. It's one of those mornings. I'm running around. This is my third meeting of the day, and
Already?
already
Wow. So I'll ask you a few questions, and you can answer them the way you want. Um,
it works.
I guess the first thing that I would want to understand is how did you come across the OKRs and the OKRs methodology, and what kind of got that faith in you that yes, this is something that we would want to get onboarded to our systems.
Sure. So how we came across OKRs, it was recommended by one of our advisors.
Okay.
So we work with an advisor that has a company that sets companies, early stage startups for success. It's
Okay.
called EW Partners, and his name is Ned Renzi, amazing human being, by the way. And he was the first one that directed us towards OKRs. And the reason he did that, obviously, because OKRs is a very important way to reach our business goals, but also because we're a fully remote distributed team.
Okay.
So as we started growing from Q4 2021 into Q1 2022, we really grew the team by like 40-50%. So it was very rapid growth.
Okay.
And things started to happen where we weren't really communicating the direction that the company was going into. And we felt there was a disconnect. So that was the obvious choice for us to start implementing OKRs across the entire team.
Okay. And how easy or how difficult was it to, introduce the team to something, new as OKRs? How easy or how difficult was that for you and the team?
It went across the board. So there had been people that were more senior that had already been a career builder, Amazon, other startups as well, that had already seen and lived through OKRs in their
Okay.
career.
Hmm.
So for them, it was just like oh, I know what's happening. Cool, just let me know. And then there were other people that had never seen it, especially people in Latin America. So I would say like obviously Mexico, Central, South America, team members that had never heard of OKRs. So for that, I had actually individual meetings with the team leaders just to explain to them exactly, what the purpose was to present them with a template of examples of key metrics that they could implement, actions that they could do, and really the process. It was not hard at all, but it really like went across the board depending on whether people had seen it before or not.
Okay. That that makes sense. So what I would want to understand is you must have been following some planning or target setting strategy before you kind of got onto OKRs. Um, what was that strategy like? And you know, what difference did OKRs kind of bring on board, for you and the team?
For us, it might have been different from other companies because we were a very, very small team. So our strategy really came from our CEO down. So it was just communicated from our CEO to senior leadership. We had a meeting once a week where this was like, okay, this is where we're going, and this is how and it was just only growth, 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 bringing in clients, bringing in clients. Sell, 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 and that was
Yeah.
really there was really nothing else. It's just like, all right, eyes on the prize, bringing in partners
Hmm.
and growing. And it was really just one person. It was one directional communication to where it was one person dictating this, and then everybody just like scrambling and running.
Okay.
And that's when we were like about 20 people to maybe about 36. Once we
Hmm.
reached the 40-50 team member mark, things started going crazy.
Okay.
um, how OKRs helped us was exactly with this communication. So communication across all functions, across all teams, and it made it easier for leaders to communicate. Like, essentially, like I would say bring down. I don't even know how to. We have a very cool phrase in Spanish, but I'm not going to even attempt to translate it. But just bring down to earth I would say, the
Got it.
goals, overall goals of the company, and be able to communicate that to even the most junior person in their team. So it helped a lot with communication. It helped a lot also with getting people motivated. So what are you doing on the day to day? Like, how is this phone call helping us reach this overall goal at the end of the quarter, at the end of the year? Like, it helped with morale also in a weird way, because everybody
Okay.
felt responsible for reaching that key metric, that overall goal, and they all felt like they were a piece of the success of the company.
Got it. Got it. So what I could understand from after listening to you was that um, for you it actually led to a lot of transparency and alignment coming within the system, right? Okay.
Yes.
Now when you guys picked up OKRs, you decided you want to go ahead with. Um, how did you went about making objectives and KRs and actionables if you did, and how much time you kind of spent into that is something that I would want to understand.
So it's something that we got to do well the first time around, and that, once we implement them back, is something that I think should take more time for sure. So that's something that we absolutely missed the mark on. We were just like trying to get it into place to get it going. So it's just very fast. And we were kind of like, well, we have a lot of work. So let's just like get the show on the road and get it over with. So in the future, I would definitely want to spend more time with each organization. But anyway, how we did it, we were at an offsite. So we were at a leadership offsite. So all of the leaders got together over breakfast. So we were talking about this. Our advisor was there, so he kind of visited every group for like 20-30 minutes, gave us a talk, a template, and then we put it together in 2 hours. And then it was we had an afternoon meeting after that where we put all of our key metric objectives into Monday, and that was the end of that. So in the future,
Yeah.
that should be not 2 hours over breakfast for sure.
Yeah. But what I can understand is that yes, if you've got the grip of how to go about it, you can actually do it faster. But since it's strategic and it flows from top to bottom, what you're suggesting is that you should spend a little more time and be sure, because if you do it fast, probably once you implement it and once you start measuring and tracking them, you'll be going back to the board and making slight changes all the time. And that is also good in case of OKRs because it's a very dynamic framework and it lets you do these small tweaks and crazy little things over time. So I understand that. And overall, I know you've mentioned a lot of good things about objectives and KRs, transparency and everything coming around. Overall, how do you feel about it? As someone who's been using it, for a while, and how do you see it going forward, in turn for you?
How it went, I think we as an organization implemented that. It made sense at the time, but we implemented that prematurely. We were at the height of our growth. Again, even though it worked, and it worked in a lot of ways, as mentioned before,
Yeah.
we just did it very hastily. There was just not enough time to pay attention. Everything was implemented kind of in a hurry. So it was good, and then all the positives. I think moving forward, one, yes, taking more time to understand and really what are the reachable, achievable goals for the organization. Not just that what we did this time around was like very pie in the sky. Maybe we'll make it, maybe we won't, but like this is our dream. So, more achievable goals. Moving forward as well, having way more accountability, because this opened up for transparency, but also the tool that we were using on Monday made it so easy for people to go in and say, well, I'm not going to make it, so I'm just going to move my target up. And that started happening across the board. So moving forward, we would want more accountability, more achievable goals, better visibility, and not for people to have the ability to go in and just say like, all right, it's not going to happen this month, but it may happen next month. And then just that
Yeah,
it defeats the purpose.
makes sense. So, last but not the least, what would be your advice for any organization that is, let's say, knows a bit about OKRs, or they think they want to get into OKRs? What do you think would be your advice to start, to implement, and then to kind of track and measure it? What would your advice be for that?
I think even before then, it's just communicating that it's not a waste of time. A lot of orgs just feel like they're moving so fast or in so many different directions that they're like, well, adding one more task on the board is just going to, destroy everything. It's not. So it's definitely not a waste of time. It allows you to really focus, and in a lot of ways, it allows communication to be more transparent, more focused, more laser focused, to where you're not wasting time in other meetings, you're not wasting time in going in many directions instead of going where you're supposed to, as an entire company. So that would be the first thing. Second thing would be just well, for maybe not C-suite nor not senior leaders, but for other leaders in the organization that again may be like, oh my God, one more task. Letting them know that this actually helps them, because all of
Yeah,
those questions that they may have, or why am I doing this? Why are we performing these tasks? Why is this happening? It allows you for more transparency. Now, to get started, I would say a lot of communication, it really depends whether you're a remote organization or an on-site organization, that makes a difference as well. I would say open communication, asking the right questions, not being afraid to speak up and ask from senior management, and holding them accountable, because you can be held accountable as a director, manager, individual contributor, but also as an individual middle management person holding senior leadership and C-suite members accountable as well.
makes sense. Makes sense. Thank you for that. And just to kind of top it up, I know you did mention to people that it's very, very important. Um, so we generally get to hear from people that, Ankit, I don't think I have the time to do this. I don't think I have the time to work on strategy, or people would all even go ahead and say that, Ankit, we already use three softwares, four softwares in the organization. I don't think I would like to have another tool for my salespeople or my ops people or my finance people to go ahead and add stuff to it. Do you have any advice for them? This is the last question that I have for you.
Do I have any advice for that? I don't know exactly. I would have to look into their software stack,
Yeah,
because we ourselves used Monday,
yeah.
and being the first shot at doing OKRs in our organization, it was great. It
Hmm.
was the first time. So really, it's getting your feet wet with what you have, realizing the shortcomings, realizing that this may not be enough.
Hmm.
So what I usually say is I don't force people into anything. I just let them find the answer themselves.
Hmm.
So it's like try it out on your own with what you have. Like do an Excel
Yeah.
sheet and then realize that this is just not going to be enough for you. Realize that there's a lot of things that you're going to be missing. A lot of things that you're like, I wish I had this, and then come back to me and I'll have the solution for you.
Got it. So you covered, something that I just thought we might touch base upon. So you covered, that for me as well. That, I by, something as dynamic as OKRs just cannot be done on a project management or a task management or a tool like Microsoft Excel or a Google spreadsheet, but it needs a dedicated software or a solution or a platform to help you do that.
I agree. I mean, you can attempt to do it. It's just not going to be pretty.
Yeah. Yeah, and especially if you achieve that part where your aim is to make the organization grow and you grow at that pace for which you got OKRs, I guess spreadsheets are going to be a mess to work around with.
Agree.
No problem. That's it from my end, Ayleen. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
I just wanted to make sure I ask you crisp questions and get it done with.
No
Thank you
problem.
so much. Have a great day ahead.
Thank you. Thank you.